Hi everybody, it's Sarah and it's Spirit of Saturday, and today we're talking about, or this time around we're talking about friendship and eating disorders and sort of the problems that you can encounter when both are in your life. This is actually not a topic that I know very well. I have never had problems with my friends and eating disorders. Not my healthy friends anyway. And I find it difficult to kind of understand that people do. I don't know, maybe I just have really amazing friends, but there's this sort of borderline, or this sort of bottom line assumption that all my friends have. And that is that I'm not the eating disorder. The eating disorder does not define me. It's a small part of me, and increasingly every day it becomes a smaller part of me. And as such, any references to it are fleeting and passing. Oh, why don't you want to go get, third and fourth and fifth, servings? Oh, well, I get really nervous and anxious around food because I have a history of eating disorders. Oh, okay. Well, this chocolate's really good. Like, that's the kind of thing that, we don't ever talk about it. Because I'm firmly of the belief that any sort of eating disorder topics should stay in therapy, and not fall over into your outside friendships, because it does really contaminate them. But yeah, so there's that bottom line assumption that I'm more than my eating disorder is something that all my friends have adopted, and we sort of play it by ear. And if there's something that I can't handle, it's expected that I will ask for help, and it's expected that I will behave normally around my friends, because not only do I respect them, I care about them deeply, and I would never inflict this on my worst enemy, so I'm not going to inflict it on my friends. That's basically the way that I get around it in my head. And it can be really, really hard to do. I know that I did run into problems with friendships and my eating disorder when I was trying to hide my eating disorder. I don't do that anymore, and I find that I don't have the problems that I have anymore, because I'm very open and very honest and very upfront, and like an open book in that regard. So any questions that they have, or any sort of resentment that starts to build, or any anger or sort of despair, if I can't take it out of the relationship, then it's there, but again, it's not paid attention to. It's another part of me that, my friends have empathy for me, and they accept that my eating disorder is a part of me now, and just as I am supposed to be honest with them, I expect that they'll be honest with me, in terms of, if they feel that my eating disorder is inflicting upon them something that they're not prepared to take on. And I just think that that's the best policy. Being honest and open about it. The more that we talk about things, the less they build up in terms of resentment and that kind of thing. Like I said, I ran into problems with it when I was trying to hide my eating disorder. But that's almost a good thing, because you get stuck in sort of a tug of war between your friendship and your eating disorder, and either your friends will bother you and find out about your eating disorder, which I think is a good thing, or you'll be forced to choose. And yeah, you may choose your eating disorder over your friends, but most people that you have to think twice about that. And when you start thinking twice, that's when you start thinking of opportunity. Opportunity to get better, opportunity to feel, more connected with friends and that kind of thing. And all that, by default, undermines your eating disorder. I do my best to keep my eating disorder out of all my friendships, because I don't think it belongs there. And my friends respond the best way that I could ask, and that's to accept it, but not to dwell on it. It's a true testament to their character. It's a true testament to how well, I have. It's a testament to how much they believe in me. Because they're not willing to put up for it forever, but they also believe it's going to leave. And I don't believe that every day. They also believe that there is one day where I will not have an eating disorder. And I need that from my friends. And I think that that's the best gift that they can give me. Eating disorders and my friends with eating disorders, that can be a little bit more problematic. I have to be very careful about, is my eating disorder feeding off of, my friend's eating disorder? Am I triggering my friends? And that's kind of a little bit iffy in terms of, like that, I can see how problems would develop a lot more quickly. I adopt the same policy. Honesty is the best answer, and I make sure that if I can't handle the situation and my other friend can't handle the situation and we're both in a negative headspace, we usually just pull apart for a bit, just because it's really important that, the whole thing about misery loves misery, like company, we don't want to do that. When we chose recovery, and when we chose recovery with each other, we chose to make sure that our lives would be as meaningful as possible, and that we would get there as fast as we could, and as long as it took, and we would do what it takes. And sometimes that means separating for a little bit, so that our friendship isn't as active, or just like we text back and forth instead of talk, or that kind of thing. Just because it is hard. Sometimes you can trigger other people, and sometimes they can trigger you, and that's something you have to be really, really careful about with eating disorders and friendships. And believe it or not, in my real life, I don't have friends with eating disorders. I have a number of really awesome friends here who have eating disorders. I have some on LiveJournal who have eating disorders, but I have like 2 in my life, like my actual life, that have eating disorders. And we share something else in common with each other other than eating disorders, so I think that's really important to remember too. The other thing sometimes people worry about is, when I go back to reconnect with old friends, are they going to hold it against me, basically, that I chose my eating disorder over their company, or that I, chose to abandon the friendship in my recovery from my eating disorder, and now I want to reconnect or whatever. People are generally good people, and I have not run into a single friend who has said, no, I don't want to reconnect with you. So I simply apologize. I didn't know what I was thinking. I was young and stupid, and now I know better, and I realized that you were an important part of my life, and I would really like for you to be an important part of my life now. I've never had a friend say, no, I'm going to decline that opportunity. People are very, very forgiving, and people want to see you well, and they'll wait around to see you well. And that's one of the beautiful things in this world. Okay, so I will see you next week. Take care, everybody.